Hello, everybody. Today, my topic is why and when to each enneagram type against the truth. Well, now, this is not an analysis to against anyone's, it's just discussing why uh, a type against the truth and when it will against the truth. That's not against anyone, it's just a discussion. I divided this enneagram type into three groups. This is the group type that base preference is majority is about actions or use the body or instinct. This group is more towards feeling. This is intellectual individuals. So I divided this into three groups because I realized that there are some similarity there. For this group of people, I realized that they want people on their side, especially type 8s do it very forcefully. They are very black and white oriented people. Gray area is only useful for them when it's useful for them. They if they think that gray area is important to get what they want because they are very action oriented people, then it's useful. So they against the truth when generally speaking their preferences they want people on their side. Uh, they because they are so action oriented, they are so energetic and powerful in a way that they want everything gearing towards their directions. Even though somebody like INTP or ISTP, they sometimes they were against things because they want. I don't know. They give me a feeling that they just against it. Okay. And sometimes when you ask them what they want, they sometimes they don't tell you. They maybe they're not sure. It's just part of them. And but the ENTJ or ESTJ, like a type 8, will be more verbalize it, or sometimes they don't verbalize it, but generally speaking, they just want people on their side. Just agree on them. Whatever they say is just so called the truth. Okay, it may be true, but it may be no not true. But regardless, it's true or not true, as long as you're on their side, then you are safe at some point, but not all the time because they are kind of emotional sometimes when they just want things their way. Okay, I'm just saying that when this kind of situation happen, it doesn't happen all the time. But when these situations happen, they might against the truth because, especially when the truth is not what they want to see, because when they want to get things into their way, it's often not to do with the truth. It's more like what they want the so-called truth to be played. Okay, so um, that is what motivates them. That's what their actions talking about. When they ignore civilization, they may. This will happen in all type as well. But I realized that because they are very action oriented, they want to get tangible results. It often gives certain impressions like that to people. Uh, when the environment, sometimes they follow the flow as well. The people in power, what is recognized, they just join the club. So when they do that, the truth is not important. When you have favoritisms, when you have power, when you involve those things, truth most of the time is not in the picture. Okay? When you want things gearing towards preferences, is not truth oriented. When you want win-win situations, when you want to know what is the genuine things, what is the base things, what's the truth first, what's the directions, then yes, truth come in. But most of the time when you have certain preference like this, no. Okay? It depends on the group dynamics as well. It depends on situation. They change from time to time. Um, and also I think mindfulness is really important because they have too much emotions too much actions, so they need something to balance them. Mindfulness is important for every types. They are extremely important for them, especially I think because they have too much actions. They need something to balance up. Okay, to solve it, you need to show them the consequences uh, in order for them to keep track of their actions. Okay, you want them to tell the truth, then you will need to create an environment say that the truth is the only things recognizable and accepted. And that the next one is the feeling types. I have this personally type. I type it based on my experiences. It might be wrong. It might be very different from yours. It might be very different from the resources that you get. Uh, you might not agree on this one, but I just stick to this one currently. So for me, because of this, like each type, MBTI type got the four functions. So based on this 2, 3, 4 that I did here, I realized that all of the type 2 have got, except the INFP. Okay, majority, not all. This one's wrong. Majority of type 2, 3, 4 has FE. Okay, type 2 uh, basically is FJ, EFJ. Oh, you cannot see it from here. So the 3 FE, the 4 FE, but this one INFP, I think it's type 2, it's not type 1. It's type 1 wing, type 2 wing 1. This is very different from ISFP. Okay, INFP and ISFP, a bit different. So they have this, majority of them have a FE. Even type 2, they also, like INFP, also behave a bit like ENFJ or ESFJ. They still follow the crowd because of feelers. So sometimes I think they're against the truth because when they don't feel good. And feeling without analyzing it is very dangerous. And just purely analyzing without feeling is also very dangerous. When a person has too much of one thing, they may against the truth. Okay. How to solve it? When you don't cater what they want, most of the time people will not think rationally because you're not cater what they want. It's very hard to find a person that you don't cater what they want, they still talk about the truth. Maybe they do, but most of the time they might against some of the truth. They don't know why they're against it. Maybe they don't know why. Maybe they know why because they are not feeling good. Okay, so in order to prevent that, you must make sure that they feel good. So you must give them what they want. Step two, I realize that you just need to acknowledge them, what they have done. You acknowledge that they are helpful. That's why things are happening in a nice way. You acknowledge them that they exist here and want to talk to them. Type 3 also you do the same thing, but you add in one point is their accomplishment. Say that it must be really hard to do that. You are really a person that who are so determined and want to get all things done. You work very diligently. I really admire that part of you. Some sort of like that. Okay. Uh, type 4 you need to say that their differences makes me uh, really feel I don't know. I don't really do that. I don't really talk to type 4 because they are very emotional. I'm very scared to talk to very emotional people. And also sometimes because I'm too introvert, I don't really mix much towards to with the other people. So I realized that maybe my surrounding also lack of type 4. You know, When I have type 4, I do not know what to say. I just be myself. So most of the time, it doesn't work. But anyway, um, I got some research, and then they say that you need to say how different they are, appreciate their differences. You know, for them, they want to be different. When they want to be different, they say that they are different. They will be happy. Okay, when one person wants something, you say something good about that, they will be happy. So look at what they are doing, and when they do that kind of thing, acknowledge that and praise that, then they will be very happy. So when they against you, sometimes just ignore that, and then talk to them again on what they want. Generally, when you do something like that, then you will be safe for at least some moments. Okay, pretend they do no mistakes. It's not only FE, it's FI. Generally, like, I think people who are not TJ, you don't analyze this with them because they don't want to hear that. Extrovert also wants to be with people more, not about mistakes more, not about analyzing more. P, they don't want to know that sometimes. Uh, for me, I think truth must include analysis. Without analysis, the truth may be not right. Okay, the crowds, mixing with crowds makes me feel confused sometimes because they want you to say exactly what they want to hear, and sometimes, not sometimes, most of the times, it involves no truth. That is another things. Is more towards the group dynamics, or group behaviors, or organizations' behavior, that kind of things. From that kind of views. Okay, let's focus on each enneagram. Okay, they need reassurance. You especially this one. Their reassurance is their acknowledgement of their existence. Okay, the nice things, so called like nice things. The feeling of nice. This one is about the help. This one is about their acknowledgements and also what they have done. And they want to. They are still kind of like actions oriented people, I suppose. You need to be aware that people in this group and also like people who has high energy and medium energy are very action oriented people. You need to acknowledge them as well. That's what they are doing. So aim for what they do. If they do on something, acknowledge that and also talk to them. Small talk. Okay, sharing. That is another field. So type 5.6, sorry, type 5, 6, and 7. I realize that it's very different. 5, 6, 7s are kind of very different. 6, 7s, they want to be in the crowd. 6, they want to know about authority. When the authority say it's true, uh, most of the time they will change. When the crowd says that it's true, then it's true, even though it's not. Okay, they will persuade themselves to become a true. Sometimes they are not like that, but sometimes they are. It's very complicated. That's why I think 6, 7, 6 is a bit complicated. I think they also not too sure sometimes. 6 got, for me, I think ISTJ and INFJ. They are type 6 people. Uh, they are kind of different sometimes. Okay, but anyway, so I think type 7 is very impulsive, too impulsive. Okay, they may look like type 8 because they have got this endless energy, and because they are impulsiveness, they don't care about the truth sometimes. The people who are impulsive or who are emotional, who are who act because of emotions, they will against the truth. Because I think the truth needs calmness all the time. Uh, That's why when it's come to impulsive, I do have that too. So I will run away or I will calm myself down. I would rather not take action. But from situation and situation, truth is not so important. I realize also truth isn't the ultimate goal, but truth take time. So. And sometimes it's not about the truth, it's about the actions. You time and tide wait for no man. So I have to live with and without it. It's an art for me, I think. Sometimes I feel confused as well, like what is truth, because it doesn't work at all, most of the time. And most of the time, because there are too many energy, too many emotions, too many wants and needs, and uncertainty. I think sometimes like some people don't really know what they want also. They fluctuate, so therefore the truth also like changing, ever changing, uh, very messy sometimes. And another weakness for type 5, I think, is because lack of intuitions on emotions and this impulsiveness. Uh, Therefore, it's understand to understand the truth. It may be true at some certain point. For example, the emotions come too strong, and that's the only thing that they think is right and the truth at that time for them. You know, because of lack of understanding on that. Because trying to be calm all the time, so we may not understand that. But for example, like some people are very emotional. Okay, I realize that sometimes emotional is because that certain part of our needs is not being fulfilled. Sometimes it's because of not being fulfilled. That's why it's true. But when you after being fulfilled, that kind of needs, for example, like you are scared not to be accepted by the crowd. So once you are being accepted, you suddenly can see things in a very win-win situations. Okay, or truth is more important, fairness is important. So it really depends from case by case, but generally speaking, that's what my understanding is. It can be different, but I think basically the core is like that. Okay, that's it for the sharing today on why and when do each enneagram type against the truth. I divided into three groups. Basically, these are the reasons for this group. They want people on the site. They want to be action oriented. They want to be recognizable to get the tangible result. That's why the truth is not important. Okay, maybe they want to against the truth because the only truth for them is to get to what they want. And this one is because they don't feel good sometimes, or maybe because you did not do what they want, or maybe they think that you're not helpful, or you're against their accomplishment, or maybe that you don't say about like how different they are. That's why they don't think it's very truthful, at certain things because the truth for them may be like people are perceived to be helpful in front of them as helpful, even though they did something bad. You know, it doesn't matter. I don't know. Sometimes when I know I want to talk about it, people against it. Yeah, it's very hard to talk about truth. One of the reasons is because people against it when you want to talk about it. And they would say something else and then will insist that that is also the truth. Whereas that's not. But anyway, so that's it for today. It's not about against any types. It's about like want to know when and why so that when things happen, we can act accordingly. Um, that's it for today. Thanks. Bye.